I've made over $270,000 from brand deals in the first 6 months of 2025, and at the time of recording this video, I only have 650 subscribers. This is because I didn't follow any generic strategy that most people do to get to this point, but I'm not making this video for my benefit. I don't sell anything. I just want to help anyone who might be struggling to get brand deals by laying out the exact strategy that I used to get here. But before laying out that strategy, you need to know that the biggest mistake that small creators are doing is thinking that they need to hit a certain following number before putting themselves out there and shooting their shot with brands. But here's the reality, the numbers don't lie. When it comes to Instagram engagement rates for certain levels of creator sizes, here is the proof. For nano influencers, that is influencers who have between 1K and 10K followers, their average engagement rate on Instagram is 1.73%. Now for the next level up, micro influencers, that's influencers of the 10K to 100K level, their average engagement rate is 3.86%, so a slight uptick. Now when it comes to macro influencers though, that's people who have between 100K to 1 million followers, you would think that they have the highest engagement rate, but they actually average only a 0.61% engagement rate. And if you think about it, it makes sense. They have a much larger following, so that is the denominator when you are calculating the number of engagements, aka likes, shares, saves, divided by the total number of followers. If you have 1 million followers in that denominator, then that fraction that you get, which is the total engagement rate, will be pretty low. What do these numbers mean? When it comes to working with brands, it sounds kind of obvious that they would want to work with creators who have engaged followings over the just sheer number of followers, because if the creator can't reach a significant amount of the people who actually follow them, then that's of no use to the brands. At the end of the day, what brands are prioritizing are these 3 things: authentic product advocacy, engaged, trusted audiences, and 3, cost-effective partnerships, because at the end of the day, it is a transaction for both sides. So if you are an early or small creator like I am, here's the strategy that changed everything for me. I stopped chasing brands that didn't know me and started targeting the ones already in my pocket, literally. The strategy is so simple, it feels like cheating, but this is the exact one that I use to go from crickets in my DMs to now having to turn away brands because I am way too booked with inbound inquiries from brands. So let me show you the step-by-step process of what I call the already using strategy. Basically, it is creating content for products that you already use. And why this works is because 1, your genuine enthusiasm comes out naturally if you are just sharing the benefits of a product you already use and love. 2, you know the product inside out. And 3, the learning curve for creating content for this product will be way lower if you're already excited about it. Okay, so here is the step-by-step breakdown of the strategy. First, you're going to list out 15 products that you use on a daily basis. Sometimes you have to sit down and be like, okay, hour by hour, what am I doing and what are the products that I'm using? Odds are you're probably going to be able to come up with way more than 15. 2, you are going to create authentic content featuring these products, not necessarily pitching it outright, but just think about how to seamlessly integrate these products in the way that you already do in your life and just share that to the camera as if you are sharing it with your best friend. Step 3, you're going to look into whether these products have affiliate programs and apply to them. They probably are going to ask you if you've used their products before, and if you already have, then you have a major advantage here. And then 4, you over time, as you do more of these affiliate sponsorships, you are going to use that as social proof for brands and start to actually pitch them for paid deals rather than just affiliate ones. So let me show you an example of an actual email that I have sent to a brand to pitch them. Okay, so once you've accumulated enough successful affiliate deals, you are going to leverage that to pitch brands for actual sponsored deals where they pay you upfront. This is an example of an early email pitch that I sent to a brand, and I'm going to go through all of the components that you absolutely need to have in all of your pitches as well. Okay, first is a quick intro. Next is context as to why you are reaching out. And in this context, you are going to specifically mention your personal connection to the brand, whether that is you having used the products organically before, or how you know the product, or if it's like through word of mouth that you've heard great things about it. Next is a quick intro of your own platforms and specific stats like your number of subscribers and engagement rates on all of your platforms. Next is a section where you are pitching specific ideas for a future campaign with the brand. Make it as easy for the brand as possible so that they don't have to chase you down for these ideas, as just present it up front and demonstrate your proactiveness to actually want to work with them. This next section is social proof of previous success for a similar brand to show that you can probably deliver similar results for this one. And lastly is a call to action to close off the email where you are asking the brand for a quick time to sync. Most likely they're not going to bite on that, but it just shows your, again, proactiveness to want to get in front of them and want to proceed to next steps as soon as possible. Most likely you'll probably just be interacting over email, but you want to have this strong call to action to show that you mean business and you actually want to get them on the phone so that you can secure this brand deal. Okay, so now you know what goes into a good pitch, but here's where things get exciting. Month 1, I was sending out cold emails hoping for a response. By month 6, I remember I was getting DMs from brands offering deals that I didn't even ask for, much less I didn't even know these companies. And what happened between months 1 and months 4 was this psychological shift. And when you know how to trigger this psychological shift, you'll never have to chase brands again. And so that psychological shift is what I call the snowball effect over time. Here's what happens after your first few successful campaigns. Brands start monitoring your sponsored content and you are officially on their radars. 2, also word starts to spread within professional networks. Your content starts appearing in agency research and then they start reaching out directly to you. Now, over the course of me having done like over 250 sponsored deals, this is the checklist that I do to accelerate the snowball and make sure that not only do I have a consistent stream of new brands reaching out to me in my inbox, but also that my existing customers come back raving every time and they become repeat customers. First, I ask myself, am I over-delivering on this campaign? That could mean delivering detailed analytics to the brand even before they ask so that they know exactly how the campaign is performing even before they have to reach out and ask me for it. It could also mean delivering bonus content where applicable. So I will often repost my Instagram sponsored reels to my story. I will create highlight reels. I will also add a link in bio for free. I also create case studies of my most successful campaigns and make sure that I feature them in my media kit. Third, I will tag brands even when the content is not sponsored, especially if I'm using it organically. There is no such thing as this like no free content bullshit. I am not gatekeeping. And then lastly, I ask myself, am I prioritizing this relationship over the transaction? You have to keep in mind that on the brand side, you are also working with human beings, and when you treat them as such, it goes a long, long way. Now, hopefully you understand how the snowball effect works, but here's how you really accelerate it over time. By about the 6-month to 1-year mark of me being a full-time content creator, yes, I was getting a consistent stream of inbound requests from brands in my DMs and my inbox, but I was limiting myself to just one platform. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that one platform for me was LinkedIn, but that is not a very experienced platform for brands to scout out influencers. I knew I needed to expand my presence strategically, and when I did that on Instagram, that was my second platform, what happened was that brands that couldn't find me on LinkedIn ended up finding me on Instagram and pitching me for campaigns that targeted both of my platforms and vice versa. If they couldn't find me on Instagram, then they found me on LinkedIn and they were like, oh, hey, you also have an Instagram following as well. And because of that, I suddenly had an influx of inquiries because they were coming from both platforms. And as a result of that, I had so many brands competing for the same posting slots. So here's how you are going to multiply your own snowball effect across every platform where brands are hunting for creators like you. And the reason having a multi-platform strategy accelerates that snowball is because 1, different brands are scouting on different platforms. 2, having multiple platforms shows that you are a serious creator and not just somebody who found random luck on one platform and went with it. 3, it increases your total addressable audience. And 4, you are creating multiple touch points for discovery for yourself, not just being discovered by the brands, but also being discovered by those brands' target customers. Now, here's the exact cross-platform strategy that I used. I usually start with creating Instagram Reels. That is my main platform. I will often take those videos and repurpose them to YouTube Shorts and sometimes to LinkedIn and create video content on there. For my longer form insights, I usually post that to LinkedIn and sometimes to my newsletter or blog. And then when it comes to more behind the scenes, quick rant type videos, videos, I will post that to my Instagram stories and to TikTok. So my tips for making yourself discoverable across multiple platforms is 1, make sure you are using the same username across all of them. 2, have a professional business email in all of your bios. You can easily purchase a domain through like Gmail so that you don't have a random like Gmail or Outlook email. Those just don't look as professional. And 3, make sure you are cross-linking all of your socials on all of your platforms. Okay, so now you know what the snowball effect is and how you're going to multiply it by using a cross-platform strategy. But I have found in my experience of working with almost 300 brands that it comes down to 2 secret ingredients that separates the people who do one-off brand sponsorships versus those who are able to make a full career out of it like I have. The difference is not talent or luck. I'm not special. It is 2 specific things that make brands think, oh, I need to work with him or her. So 1, it is having a professional vibe or presence throughout your content. And 2, it is how you price your content for sponsorships. When it comes to optimizing your professional presence, I make sure that 1, I have a highlight reel showing all of my previous successful collaborations on my Instagram that is easily accessible for all brand managers who discover me. 2, I make my media kit easily accessible on all of those platforms as well, and also linked in my email pitches. And 3, this is something that I find most creators are not doing. It is optimizing your LinkedIn profile to position yourself as a professional creator. I've spoken extensively in previous videos about how influencers are up and coming on LinkedIn, and sponsored content is really on the rise on that platform. But also, it is absolutely a platform where agencies and brand managers are hanging out to increasingly looking for creators who have a professional voice that is recognized across platforms. Now, when it comes to pricing to enhance that snowball effect, when I first started, I followed the general rule of charging about $100 per 10K followers. Now, once I hit the 100K mark and I really started to have brands increasingly reach out to me, I started to flex that rule of thumb to meet the increasing demand. When I was in seasons where I had a lot of brands reaching out to me, I could charge past that ratio. And for slower seasons, I kind of like was more flexible. So moral of the story, you can kind of use that rule of thumb in the beginning, but as your presence grows across platforms is when you can increase that rate, but also be flexible and charge on a case-by-case basis. Okay, so this is all great in theory, but you actually have to take action. So I'm giving you a checklist of what you should be doing the next week, the next month, and the next 3 months so that you can not only secure your first brand deal, but all of the ones after that. Starting this week, I want you to list out 15 of your most used products. Also, start to set up another platform in addition to the main one that you're on. Now, if you don't have one, that's totally fine. Start with just one. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many platforms, but you want to aim for having 2 platforms by the end of this 3-month cycle. Next, you are going to actually create content for 3 of those products that you have listed out and post them across your multiple platforms. And last, for this week, once you have posted that content and it gets a little bit of traction, start to apply to those 3 products companies' affiliate programs and link that content that you have posted. And then once you hit that 30-day mark, where I want you to start pitching to 5 brands, you can access the template that I showed you before in the caption below. You're going to repurpose any sponsored content across all of your platforms, even if that brand didn't specifically sponsor you for like all of your platforms. And also during this phase is where you want to really experiment with your sponsored content style, figure out how to like sell the product without actually selling it. Make that content as organic as possible so that it actually performs. All influencers know that when it comes to sponsored content, if it's too salesy, it won't resonate with your audience and brands are not going to like that. So really use this time period to experiment and figure out how to make sponsored content seem less sponsored. And then during the 90-day mark is where you want to focus on not just executing on those brand deals, but also over-delivering where possible. So as I mentioned, that means delivering detailed analytics to the brands that you've worked with and also giving them bonus content wherever possible. And as you are building your repertoire of successful brand campaigns, you are going to be adding them to both your media kit and also your highlight reel in your Instagram and in your bios so that brands can see you are actually a professional creator with a proven track record. I hope all of these tips were helpful for you to see how I got to this point where these days I'm turning down brand deals and I've increased my rates almost like 3x since I started. It's because I followed these step-by-step step-by-step processes of using the already using strategy, finding out what the snowball effect was, and multiplying that across platforms, and then also optimizing my professional presence and my prices so that my snowball is continuously growing over time. I hope this video showed you that your following size doesn't matter, it's your strategy. And hopefully it also showed you that you are closer to your first brand deal than you thought. If it does, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because I love sharing tips on how to grow as a creator when you are like a normal person. That will help other small creators hopefully find this video. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.